Wouldn't it be nice to be a millionaire? Wouldn't it be even nicer if you could become an Amazon FBA millionaire by either creating a business that sells a ton of products and generates a huge amount of profits, or by creating an Amazon FBA business that is then bought by an investor? And that is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Basically, people that have sold their Amazon FBA businesses for millions. Now, the reason that I decided to do this video was because this week there was an article done by the BBC where they did like a mini case study on two different sellers who basically started a Amazon FBA business, and then within a couple of years they sold it for multi-million pound amounts. Now, the video, I'm actually going to talk about that briefly. I will put a link for the article in the description. Then what I'm going to do is put things into context for you. So I'm going to show you a number of different private label products that were started by individuals and then later sold to investors for millions of pounds. So make sure you don't miss that one. And then we're going to finish the video off with an email that I received from another investor that wants to purchase my business. So we're going to be talking about that, my views on it, and I'll show you the email, of course. So let's get straight into it. I'm just going to show you the email that was published by the BBC this week. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to run through it line by line, but I am just going to point out some of the really interesting things that the article brought out. So here is the article, The Amazon Sellers Who Sold Up and Became Millionaires. So the article starts off by talking about this lady here, how she essentially was looking for a way to create an additional income stream, and how she started selling a certain product on Amazon, which did well, which basically made her decide or made her understand how big of an opportunity Amazon FBA is. So she started a business selling products. She launched in the UK market, and then she also started selling in the US as well. And then it says here, 2 years ago, she sold up, and back then it was quite a rare thing to do, to basically sell your Amazon business to another investor. But what I found really interesting about the article is it then goes on to talk about one of the biggest Amazon investors out there, known as Thrasio. So Thrasio is a company, and its main objective is to acquire Amazon private label brands. And what's really interesting about this here is that it says that the process of acquiring Amazon businesses has become so much simpler over the last year. And the main reason for that is because more and more money has been flowing in from individual investors, corporate investors, to funds like this Thrasio in order to purchase Amazon businesses. So purchasing Amazon businesses has become much more of a frequent thing. And because of that, it's become a lot simpler. So here you can see here it says Thrasio was founded in 2018, and it quickly generated over £360 million revenue in its second year. So essentially it was acquiring Amazon businesses, and then those businesses were generating Thrasio money. So what else does it say? Well, it says here that 3 years later, i.e. today, there are now 64 different companies around the world whose main objective is to buy Amazon businesses, which is amazing. So it really does show you that there is a lot of money and a lot of focus in acquiring good Amazon FBA businesses, which is what we are trying to do, right, guys? We are looking for ways to find top selling products to sell with Amazon so that we can build amazing Amazon FBA businesses. And I think this is something that maybe quite a few people don't actually realize is possible. I do have a fair amount of students that kind of get into the Amazon FBA game because they just think it'd be nice to generate an additional income stream every single month, which of course you can do. But ultimately, I would say a lot of people don't really realize the main prize of Amazon FBA, which is creating this Amazon FBA business that can be acquired for millions of pounds by big investors like Thrasio. So if we dive into the article a little deeper, we can see the type of criteria that Thrasio and other investors look for when they want to acquire an Amazon FBA business. So it says here, in general, they look for sellers which have managed to get their heads above the chaos of items for sale on Amazon, building up lots of positive customer reviews and appearing on the first or second page in the search result ranking, which absolutely is something that we can achieve. So how awesome does that sound? That criteria there is absolutely something that is within reaching distance, touching distance of everybody watching this channel now. And this is something else that I just missed here. It says that all of these investors whose objective is to acquire Amazon FBA businesses, they have together raised nearly $6 billion of capital, so investing money, since April 2020. So there is a huge amount of money in this looking for private label brands to acquire. So if we scroll down the article a bit some more, you can see there's another case study here, and I'm going to be looking at this product in a second when I show you the different private label brands that have been acquired on Amazon. But this is something else that I thought was really interesting. So if we scroll down, it says here that despite earning enough to retire on, the couple that sold their like garden equipment business for millions, they still enjoy the thrill of building brands online. And because of that, they've launched a couple of other products. It's hard for entrepreneurs like that to step away. And I completely agree. I think that if I were to sell my Amazon business, it wouldn't be long before I was kind of sniffing around more products to think about selling in the future as well. So I thought that was really interesting. Now, I will put a link for this article in the description, but what I want to do now is just show you guys a couple of the different types of products and brands that have been acquired to put it into context for you, that what these people are doing is not something absolutely amazing that you're not ever going to be able to do. They started as relatively simple products, simple branded products that have grown. And that's all there is to it. Just finding a niche that you think you can see an opportunity in and then just growing over time. It really is that simple. So the first one that I'm going to show you is a brand called Girlzone. And this is actually one of the brands that is referred to in the BBC article. So Girlzone was started by the lady in the article. And essentially, she started it as a product, a single product that was aimed at parents looking to buy presents for their little girls, right? And then over time, she's expanded it to be tons of different products. And she's just done that one at a time, speaking with her supplier, speaking with new suppliers, and using the same branding. And it is so much easier when you do that. Once you have found a product, it makes so much sense if that product sells well to just gradually expand across the niche rather than finding lots of new niches in different rather than finding lots of new products in different niche areas. So what she's done here is fantastic. She started with one idea and then she's taken over the entire niche. So if we have a look here, you can see every single one has got that Girlzone name in the title. She's got chalk for curls, she's got makeup lip balm, rainbow notebook, etc., etc. And you can see there are tons and tons here, right? And when I say she, it isn't actually her anymore because she sold it. It says in the article that she sold it for millions. It doesn't actually disclose it. But if we run the Jungle Scout or the Helium 10 tool, you can kind of take a look at how much she is generating. And just like the article says, she was just a completely normal person like you guys, like me. She didn't start with amazing qualifications or anything like that. She started with a simple idea and she just grew it over time. So you can see here one product generating 4,000, another generating 9,000, 6,000, etc., etc. And if you scroll down, you can see it just adds up and it adds up. And this is something that I thought was really interesting because I do have a lot of students within the Smashers Academy, and I have a lot of people messaging me in the public group saying, do you think this product is worth selling? It only makes £3,000 revenue a month, etc., etc. I'm looking for way more than that. And I always say, well, would you really turn down a 3,000 revenue product if it had a 30% profit margin? Like, that's £1,000 profit per month. And if you can stack that along with other products, say along with 9 other products, making the same amount of profit, that's 10,000 profit per month that you're making, right? And that looks to me like what this Girlzone brand is basically doing. Although individually the products aren't making shed loads, they're making decent amounts, but not absolutely shed loads. You can see that it all adds up, right? So that is the Girlzone brand. Feel free to take a look at that and just basically look through the pictures and understand that that's something that you absolutely can do, right? So the next one This is a brand called the Veyon and its garden tools. This was also referenced in the BBC article. If we scroll down, you can see that they've taken the exact same approach that Girlzone did. They started with a simple idea, one product of garden tools, I think it was garden scissors, and then over time, they've just expanded. They've basically leveraged the fact that they've got the brand name and they've started to build up reviews with one of their products, and they've taken over the entire niche. So look, if we scroll down, you can see that all of these are de Veyon. So many products, and it's all very, very simple, right? So again, if we run Jungle Scout, you can see that this seller is kind of taking the same approach. Lots of different products generating a decent amount of revenue. There's actually a lot more revenue in this niche, but just look at this. This product here, 5,000, 25,000, 17,000, etc., etc. It all is building up, right? And it's generating huge amounts of profits in a single month for the owner of this new brand. So that de Veyon couple that started this, they're millionaires now, and they're happy as Larry, and it all started with a pair of garden scissors. The next brand that I want to show you is a little different to the previous two because it's a brand that just owns one product, and it is my beloved posture corrector. So this seller here started selling the posture corrector just before it really took off and got popular. He timed it absolutely fantastically, and he sold his business as well for over £1 million. And again, you know, if we kind of look at the listing, it has changed a bit since he sold it. I actually was well aware of this listing prior to him selling it, and I've kind of had my eye on it as soon as I saw that it was purchased because I wanted to see how the new owner was going to change it. But, you know, generally it looks basically the same. It's just kind of some of the editing that's changed. You can see that these are all like the listing quality here is something that you absolutely can do. Look, these bullets are not even particularly detailed. They're quite high level. Scroll down and they've just got, you know, your standard enhanced brand content. And that is the new owner, Zaba, I believe. It's like a collection of different brands that is owned by an investor. So again, the owner of the posture corrector, this Meditro Brands, I believe is now the owner of another company who some of you guys will know, Link My Books. So I thought that was really cool. He sold this for more than £1 million. Again, they don't really release the sales figures for how much they've sold the business for. They just say we sold it for 7 figures. But generally, you know, my background is in investment banking. So, you know, if you're not familiar with how businesses are valued, it's generally done on a multiple of earnings. So if this guy was generating, say, I don't know, £500,000 profit per year from the business, then an investor might say, we'll give you 3 to 4 times that. It might be higher depending on the investor, of course. So that's generally how it works. You take your annual profit figure and you'll multiply it by probably a small multiple of 3 to 5. I don't think it would be that much higher because of the risk involved, but you never know. We'll come to that later on in the video. And then let me just show you one final brand. So this one here, remember, was actually quite different to the others because it was just one single product, which did surprise me. I kind of thought that these investors wanted to go for niches where, you know, the seller had kind of taken them over. But anyway, they obviously did. So the final one is this one here called Beast Gear, and this is the same owner as the Meditro, the posture corrector. It's the same investor. And look at this, guys. Again, you can see they've taken the exact same approach, the original founder of the Beast Gear. They've started with one product and they've just taken over the entire niche. Just gradually, they've just been looking for other product ideas and they've just been launching them. And as a result of that, they sold their business again for 7 figures. And if we have a look at the sales figures according to Jungle Scout, we can see one here doing 14,000, one doing 68,000, 40,000, 28,000, etc., etc., all done by the same brand and started by an individual, which is amazing. So guys, if that doesn't get you really, really excited about starting your own private label brand, which you can then dominate and smash and eventually sell to an investor for millions of pounds, then I don't know what will. Now, just to round off the video, just like in terms of perfect timing, I didn't plan this whatsoever. I did actually get an email this week from an investor who said they were very interested in acquiring my business. They'd seen my private label brands on Amazon. they liked what they saw and they reached out. They actually found my brand email, obviously doing some digging on me. So let me show you what that email says. I hope you don't mind me reaching out to introduce myself. My name is so and so from this investor group. My background is in tech and I ran my own business a couple of years back, and I now head up the UK for the business, a European company that looks to acquire the best e-commerce brands with a significant presence on Amazon. And we are extremely interested in acquiring your company. And that's where he named my company, right? And then he said, do you have 10 minutes this week to speak about a potential sale? So then a couple of days later, he did send me a follow-up email because I didn't reply. And the reason that I didn't reply is because, to be honest, I'm not really interested in selling my Amazon business at the moment. I'm having way too much fun, believe it or not. And I kind of think that I'm just getting started. My business is still very young. I've got 10 or 11 products at the moment, and I've still got more products on the way and lots of new different ideas to dominate my niche. So I kind of want to do that just like those other guys had done before I consider selling. But he did send me another email basically just saying, we're still extremely interested. Do you have time for a quick chat? Even if you're not interested, it's worth connecting about a sale further down the line. So I have actually booked a call with the guy just because I am quite interested to hear what he has to say. I'm not planning on giving away any details on sales figures, profit, anything like that. I don't really want to, reveal my cards at this stage, but I will, of course, ask questions, find out about how they think about Amazon FBA businesses, and I'll let you guys know. I'll do it in a future video so you guys can get excited about selling your Amazon FBA businesses too. So that is the end of this week's video, guys. I hope it has got you excited. I hope it has got you pumped about the amazing opportunity of having a product selling on Amazon FBA. Not just a recurring income stream each and every month, but also a nice little cash pile, hopefully at the end when you sell the business to an investor. So hopefully you have enjoyed this week's video, guys. If you have, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want already. And I will see you next time for another video.